Hey everyone. So I literally have 3 minutes to tell you this, but I just got off the phone with a coaching client, and she was in this situation where she's running around crazy, taking care of all the things, her kids, her mom, her husband, cooking two different meals every evening because they all want fresh food and they all have different tastes. And at the end of the day, not having time to study, even though she's planned out months for bar prep, and she's, carved out what she's supposed to do. And that's why I like people getting into bar exam ready, because you can have your bar prep plan laid out with days off built in, with knowing exactly what you're going to study and when, and with using only the material and the study strategies that are perfect for you. And so I'll link bar exam ready somewhere in here so that you can take a look at that and see if it's right for you. But with even having all of that laid out, she was still having this difficulty of not being able to get done what she had planned to get done. So not being able to study is a twofold issue. First, do you know what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, how you're supposed to do it, and not the vanilla, like one size fits all, how, like go watch 7 hours of lectures. If you fall asleep during 7 hours of lectures, that's not how to do it. But do you know all those things as according to your personality and your learning style and all that stuff, right? And that's what bar exam ready helps with. And the reason why I make that a first step for any of my clients is because then we can get to what's really the matter. So with all of that set aside, when we dig down to why was she having to drop everything and go off, and it wasn't a respect thing. She said herself, if I got serious about my studies, my family would back me up. So that wasn't the case. It wasn't a respect thing. So it was like, well, why? And sometimes only these private conversations can really bring it out. And, when it came down to it, it was a very tearful revelation that she feels like her running around and taking care of all the things is her way of contributing until she can pass the bar exam and be able to bring in money. What is my value, she said, if I'm not taking care of everybody? And that's pretty heartbreaking when your value is being pegged to what you do and what you accomplish versus just the fact that you just are. You just are. So I spoke to her and helped her to see how she does contribute just by being who she is, not having to do anything extra, and how, in fact, her family would be better off if she did take the time to put herself first. But it took some digging up of some things and some clearing some things out of the way in order to get to that. But I want to ask you, if you find yourself constantly putting off your studies, putting things down to go help other people, never finding time to study, never having a block of focus time, or if you even have focus time, you get distracted and you go off to doing something else. Take a minute to ask yourself if you are pegging your self-worth and value, or even finding fulfillment through doing things for others and being all the things for others. Ask yourself that in a moment of honesty and clarity, because, and there's some solutions to that. But if you find that that is you, I want you to take a step back and really survey whether or not your family is benefited by you running around like a chicken with her head cut off right now, or whether they would be even more benefited if you were to pass the bar exam, become an attorney, get your career settled, get your income settled. Like, which mode would your family be most benefited from? And some of you may or may not know, but I'm a spiritual person. I used to I used to be a missionary, for heaven's sakes. And I spent enough time. I majored in psychology and minor in religious studies. I went to Bible college. I studied enough of the religions for me to know that we're pretty much all saying the same thing with different words. You may or may not agree with that, but that's where I am. And so all schools of religion and philosophical thought ascribe to the same thing. If the feeling and the desire is in you, then you are meant for it. And everybody around you is going to benefit by you following your desires. The Bible says it is he that is in you to will and to do of his good pleasure, right? And you will find, like all philosophies across the world say the same thing. If that desire is inside you, it's you. and you following it is going to benefit others. So when I advised my client to start attending to what she needed to do for bar study and showed her how if she did what she needed to do, it would actually benefit her family in the current term, not just the long term of after I passed the bar, but today, how it would benefit her family to put herself first, and how her children would grow and mature, and how her husband would feel more fulfilled and useful around the house and all those kinds of things. The world really started to change for her, where she realized, oh my goodness, me putting myself first is actually me loving my family, because they'll get to experience and grow and whatnot in ways that they can't while she was busy doing all the things. So I invite you to take a moment to step back and really survey your family, your situations and circumstances, and ask yourself whether or not you are finding fulfillment from being all the things to all the people, and therefore unable to put your studies first. And if that's the case, I invite you to explore this new school of thought where how you doing your thing could actually be helpful to them. And if you need help exploring that, then feel free to hop onto a Confidence Kickstart call with me. I'm offering them free for the month of October only. We can get on and talk for about 30 minutes, and we can explore what's going on with your bar journey, how you got here, where you're at, and how to get you to where you need to be, right? And I'll link that below somewhere too, so that you can have a hold of that and contact me if you want to. Bye for now.